What's up, tubers? Welcome back to the channel. Got a new device, new camera. I upgraded my phone, which meant I kept the old phone, and we're gonna try shooting it with that. So this would be SMASNUG, not GoPro. Got a few things left to do on this before I can start putting some primer on it. But yeah, actually, the camera, real quick. So what I'm doing here is just a test. It's not a update or a whatever. I'm just testing to see how long this thing will record, how much it'll record before it cuts out and turns off. I've got it plugged into the wall. I've got the memory banks are totally cleared. So which one is first? It either overheats, runs out of battery, or runs out of storage. So, and in the meantime, I'm just going to putter with this and ramble a little bit. So if you guys like hearing me ramble, then let's ramble on. I don't have any music playing because of copyright issues, but whatever. I just got done throwing a bunch of this kind of stuff away. I'm going to do something a little different on this build. Whatever's left, whatever I don't use, is going in the trash. It's just going in the trash. I'm not even going to bother sorting it. I'm done. I am done. Done saving stuff. I mean, unless obviously it's something that, you know, I might wind up using at some point, or as a cool shape or whatever, but I don't need any more hinges. I don't need any hinges for that matter. Do you put hinges on yours? Do you pose your models like that? I don't. Let me know in the comments. What do you do? On this particular one, the rear, the trunk, with the boot can be posed open and closed. So I've got that still to install. I like to do the any body work that I'm going to do, the rough stuff before I do any attaching stuff like that, just so it's not fighting the whole time. And I'll leave these on for exactly that, so that it has a little bit more oomph. The other thing that I have to do, I gotta figure out the colors and how I'm gonna. Where's the other sheet back? Squirrel. You're probably looking at the camera going, "It's right there! It's right there!" If you're still watching, hit that like button. What am I going to do here? I'm thinking the body color itself is going to be something in the purple family. Purple pink, kind of lighter, to go with the decals. You know, when you use these original decals, they look to be in a really good shape. So, I'm kind of thinking maybe a candy red, purple, maybe some blue. But all of this stuff in here lends itself perfectly to a good two-tone. And so I'm still just kind of trying to map what will be colored differently and in what sequence I want to paint and tape. I found a lot of times it's easier, like if there's some really detailed taping to be done, shoot the whole thing in one color and then do that detailed taping to seal it off, and then shoot your other secondary color. Like these, those, I feel like that the inserts, as well as the inserts here, could be a different tone at least. So I've got some taping to do and decisions. This is all done. This was pretty much it for sub-assembly on this kit. The engine halves. I mean, I could go further and do the heads and the, all that stuff, but I want to do different colors. So that and the hood latch thing and the suspension, that's a part of it. I noticed, this is the second time I've done this kit, I've noticed that the first one I did was a 3-wheel motion. Can't remember how it was. It was like that. I had attached this to the axle and then just kind of worked it in there afterwards after I painted it. But, you know, same thing. Once this gets painted and that gets painted and it goes on there, you're never gonna know that wasn't. I'll be able to paint that up with whatever color, and nobody's gonna turn it upside down and go, hey, that wasn't connected properly. The height settings on these, it was a little convoluted, complicated, different than there. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. There's a repop that's coming out soon, the Monte Carlo, the Lowrider Monte Carlo. But I've built one of those. I did a 3-roll motion, and that one has you take the control arms and the sway bars, I believe it are all connected, and it has you cut one or the other and then attach those two together. Whereas these are all separate. There's no options for the height option comes from the spring itself, or the spindle in this case. Springs are in the rear. You can see there's, you know, small, medium, large. And there's like 3 bears. This one is too small. This one is too big. This one is on the wrong side. Pay really close attention to what parts are what and which way they go if you're going to modify the steering and the suspension. I've taken to marking them with a Sharpie. I'll put a little dot of whatever is left or right so that I can keep track of them. But that went pretty smoothly. The other part that was, I don't know where this is supposed to go. The instructions are just not clear. I love that when it shows the part, it shows where it's supposed to go. Let's see if I can find it for you. Again, it's right on the camera. Right on this. There are 3 different parts, right? There's a right and a left tie rod and then a center piece. That tab went there. It was really easy. It was plain to see where it goes. And the other one, it doesn't, where, huh? I don't know. I don't know where that's supposed to go. Hopefully it works. I mean, you know, I don't see why it wouldn't. What's going to be in the way of that little spot right there? But sub-assembly is pretty much done. I've got to. I've got to make a decision on coder and what I'm going to do with the masking here. So I guess in the meantime, I can put this stuff up on the sticks and get it ready for primer at least. A lot of little parts. I've taken to doing this where I have a little thing, a ramekin, to keep the little stuff in. Little parts that I don't want to have floating around. Why is that off? You know what? I'm going to glue it on now and then paint it later. It's just a habit I've gotten into. This little thing, the fuel pump, ordinarily be like aluminum on the top, and sometimes the bottom bell is a goldish color. And it's a lot easier to paint that later with a small brush than it is to paint this ahead of time and then try to glue it on there. So yep, no, the audio still works. It's just me hyper focused. And that's fine. You know, it'll be fragile in the interim until it gets painted and all put together. But once it does, once it gets paint on it and all the other parts go on, that'll be fine. And I'll be aware of it, that it's, you know, that it's there when I'm painting. There we go. First part attached. Ready to go. So let's get all this stuff on the sticks. Maybe in the meantime this will jump out at me. It's the fact that I don't know the actual color yet. I haven't gotten that far. I want to use the airbrush on this, and I think I want to use there's a purple that I have that I have a 58, 59 impala I did in it. Came out so nice. There we go. Interior piece. Ready to go. Same with the water pump. We're going to water pump housing, timing chain cover. I'm going to do that in different colors. I did that recently in another build, and it just looks so good isolated as a different color. Let's get all this little stuff out of the way. How do you attach your little bits like this? Little pieces that, again, could put that on now, but I'd rather do it afterwards for that one, because where the starter goes and where the oil pan is going to go, it's just going to be in the way. So I'll grab it from the back side where it's going to get glued. And that can get touched up. My master cylinder, or I put a hole in that for the wires. We're going to cheat with this one. Kind of. The girth of the body will get paint on it, and we'll, touch it up after the fact. We'll fix it in post, as they say in the video editing world, anyways. And while I'm doing this, I try to keep stuff in, grouped in what colors it's going to be later. Like I'll make that and this a nice aluminum. Same with that. Probably gold-ish. Oh. Give me a bite somewhere. No? Okay. So I'm reaching over here for these. I got a bunch of them just off camera. My clip bag, as it were. And stuff like that, I don't worry too much about coverage. A lot of times the paint will spray in there anyways. And if I make it to where it's just a little teeny bit, a lot of times that happens, but more dramatically. It goes across the room and you can't find it. So I'd rather have a little touch up than be sorting on the floor fighting the carpet gremlin. Carpet gremlin and I don't get along. I do whatever I can to not feed it. And the thing is not cool. Tell me, this kind of stuff, I'd rather come back and touch up that spot later than worry about, you know, losing it somewhere. Oh, okay. Oh, gotta keep talking. Don't have music. Gotta keep rambling here. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. So, you can see, I'm kind of just going through the motions. It's become a secondary thing now where, you know, you do it over and over and over again. After a while, I just kind of stop thinking about it. I'm just doing it. I like this toothpick technique. I'll find a little hole or something, and like these. Ow. And that doesn't get thrown away. The toothpick will get used later for the glue application or all kinds of different stuff. Gonna be body color. I still need to drill that too, I think. Hey. Yeah, let's get blood on yourself while you're handling white plastic. And yes, it will stain. Ask me how I know. These are always such a pain. Find a place to connect it. I'm not too worried because this can be, it can be touched up really easily. Oh, what color is this interior gonna be? I thought I'd have something figured out by now. Also haven't figured out the underside and all the detailed stuff. The one I did before, I did as I'll do with this one, I did a different color, you know, body color and frame color. Looked amazing. Love to figure out how to make like etched look or like a gold leaf, you know? That'd be pretty cool. Like you see on the lowriders, they have the whole frame, the entire chassis has been gold leafed. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that. That's kind of what I've been thinking about. how to make it more, how to make it extra. You know what the kids say these days? It's extra. Like they came up with that or something. Okay, come on. You're not instilling a whole lot of confidence in me there. Yeah, that's good. I need some more blue goo. Love this stuff. Blue tack, Loctite blue tack. I know there's a lot of different types and different kinds out there, but nah, I found with stuff like that, you're better off going name brand. You know, yeah, you can find the Walmart version or the Kraft version or whatever, but look, Loctite does gluing stuff. That's what they do, you know? Makes sense to me. Like tape. I would much prefer a nice 3M tape or the hobby stuff, the this stuff. I'd much prefer this over, I don't have any here to show you, the what do they call it stuff? Washi tape, I think. It works, but that stuff's been designed specifically to work on your models, plastic and such. You know, the way it reacts to paint. And pile's getting smaller. You notice how I started with the little bits and worked my way up, so that when you get closer to the end, you're not fighting with your patience and with these tiny little pieces of plastic and no more sticks left except for the blue goo ones. I try to keep them separate. I have some that don't have this tape all over them, tack, whatever, and some that do. Because I found the ones that do, it can be kind of a pain to take it off of painted areas. I didn't explain that very well. Still works fine. Don't be afraid of it. It's great stuff. Just saying, there's been some weird reactions with. Actually, I guess now I need to explain myself. Let's see. Where's a good one? I have something here. I didn't use it for it, so. Yeah, this is close. When this will get painted, and then when this comes out, a lot of times the paint part, that residue that needs to come out, that little tiny bit, that doesn't need to, right? I mean, that's fine. You can glue the differential cover over it, which is where? Oh, this is the well, no, this is the sorry. Yet I digress. You get little bits in here in these grooves, and they tend to stick in there and become a real drag to get out. So I do try to be aware of where that stuff goes to contain it a little bit. That's kind of why I'm looking at this one. It's got goopus all over it. I'd rather use one that doesn't, so that later when I come to touch it up, I'm not fighting this as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna eyeball it. I know it needs to go down there. Who's in there? Well, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that later. The hole for the brake line. I'm trying to figure out where it should go. Because this does need to be body color. like that. I'll find a spot over in the corner that won't be too visible. Shoot that, switch sides, and shoot the other one. Colors, colors. What colors? Colors. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not feeling the interior color yet. It'll come to me. In the meantime, let's just get stuff attached that we know we can. Something about those, I remember from last time they were an issue. Yeah, that's fine. Whoa, hear that? It's a new device making noises. Wonder what that was about. I purposely have not installed socials, Facebook or Instagram or any of that crap on this phone. If you're to do that stuff on the computer and try to back away a little bit, spend way too much time online. What color do you want to be? Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's a trick that I've developed. I'm reaching in the trash can for a little piece of sprue. And cut the bottom of it. I'm using my crappy one. Kind of give it a rough edge to make it raw. And I'm going to put it right in that little groove there. And then the touch up later is going to be nominal. You'll see. Be careful where you get this stuff. I mean, splashing it around, it will leave fingerprints. Like, it'll burn a fingerprint in. Like, if you get it on there and you touch it, you're gonna have a fingerprint there. it's going to take a lot of sanding to get it to not be there. Alright, see? A simple little spot there. It's not a whole lot of contact area. And what I found is that you come back in later and either touch that up in the color that the body, or paint all those in, or a few of them in a black or a rubber black, and it gives it that. Come on. There we go. I'll just leave that, let it set up, and then I've got a nice holder for when it's time to shoot this that I have yet to sand. That was stupid. That just made more work for myself. Okay, don't need this in. Oh yeah, I do. Set the trunk, huh? That's right. Or do you? I don't know if there's any advantage to. I mean, I guess I could temporarily tack it in there just to make sure the trunk shuts right. I'll look a little bit further. Do I need that off to put in later for any reason? Don't know. I don't remember. I don't think so. Looks like it still needs a little bit of body work too. Just the tiniest bit. I'll have to look and see what I did on the other one. If that got glued in before or after. I feel like it got in glued before. Got in glued? Words. Transposed words like did I Yoda did. I cracked myself up. It's a good thing too, because nobody else thinks I'm funny. Alright, well, that's about that. I wonder how long that was. I wonder if this thing's even still recording. What do I got left? We got a little bit of sanding to do. A little bit. Minor. So, we'll get some wet sand out. And, that's about it. So we're going to turn this off and then I'll turn it back on for the next segment. I still want to do a battery and data all the way through. So